Scorpio, lean in for a moment and let everything else fall quiet, because this is not a normal message, and this coming Monday is not a normal day. Imagine waking up and feeling it before anything even happens, that strange pressure in the air, that whisper in your chest that says, something is different today. Monday arrives like a bell ringing in the invisible, and what has been hidden around you, the whispers, the half-truths, the double faces, can't stay buried anymore. The truth is on a collision course with the people who thought they could bend reality and get away with it. And when it hits, they won't be able to smile their way through it or pretend they don't know what they did. If your heart just tightened, if your spirit just stirred, it's because a part of you already knows this isn't just another reading, it's a spiritual appointment. You didn't click on this video by mistake. Something in you responded when life quietly asked, are you ready to see what's really going on? Welcome, beautiful Scorpio soul, to this sacred corner of the universe, where nothing that is real can be taken from you, and nothing that is false can stay. You are not watching this because you are weak or paranoid, but because you are sensitive, intuitive, and wired to feel the currents underneath the surface of people's words. You've been sensing something for a while now, a tightness in certain rooms, a shift in certain conversations, a heaviness around certain names. You've been doubting yourself, wondering if you're exaggerating, trying to give people the benefit of the doubt even when your body is screaming, something is off. Monday doesn't come to punish you, Scorpio. It comes to confirm you. It comes to say you weren't crazy, you were awake. Before we move deeper, take a breath and feel that truth settling inside you. If it resonates already, let your energy answer back. You can even whisper it softly or write it later in the comments. I'm ready for the truth to stand on its own. The energy around Monday feels like the tarot's tower finally touching ground. The tower is rarely gentle. It does not tiptoe. It does not apologize. It crashes through illusions like lightning through glass, not to destroy you, but to free you from stories that were never right to begin with. For a long time, some people in your orbit have been building a version of reality that suited them, one where your power was minimized, your intuition was dismissed, your kindness was taken as weakness. They smiled in your face and sighed in private. They took your ideas, your presence, your support, and then quietly fed doubt into the air when you weren't in the room. Monday is when the foundation of that story starts to crack. A slip of the tongue, a message sent to the wrong person, a reaction they can't hide, a truth that falls out because the universe is tired of their performance. The tower is the moment when what no longer fits your destiny simply can't keep standing, no matter how much someone tries to hold it together with lies and nerves. But the tower doesn't arrive alone, and you are not standing in its shadow without protection. Energetically beside it in your reading, I see something like justice or the Hierophant, that quiet, ancient authority that says, enough. Justice doesn't move in gossip or chaos. It moves in alignment. It moves when your spirit has grown too big for the smallness other people have tried to keep you in. It moves when karmic debt has been quietly building and the scales finally tip under the weight of truth. This is the moment where you realize that your patience was not wasted, your restraint was not weakness, your silence was not surrender. Every time you chose not to retaliate, not to lower yourself, not to play the game their way, you were placing your energy on the side of cosmic order. On Monday, that order steps forward, not necessarily with dramatic public scenes, but with shifts that are unmistakable, conversations you're suddenly included in, information that finally reaches you, expressions on their face they can't control when your name is mentioned, doors that open to you and close silently behind you for them. And then there is the Seven of Swords energy, the subtle card of hidden motives and stolen light. You've felt this energy before, the person who always wants to know a little too much about your plans, the one who imitates you but never credits you, the one who smiles at you but tightens their jaw when you talk about progress. The Seven of Swords is not just someone lying. It's a pattern of energy that has been working in the background. Someone taking from you energetically while presenting as harmless, even supportive. On Monday, that facade gets harder and harder for them to maintain. They may contradict themselves without realizing it. Two stories they told different people finally collide. Someone who has been watching all along decides not to protect them anymore. A private conversation you never thought would come to light suddenly reaches your ears. You don't have to go digging for this. You don't have to become the detective. The simple truth is this: what was done in the dark is getting tired of being there. The lie is heavy, it wants out. And when it comes out, it doesn't just reveal them, it reveals you, the real you, the version they tried to distort. Astrologically, this Monday energy feels like a standoff between what has been quietly stored in your nervous system and what can no longer be swallowed. It's the emotional moon standing across from a sharp Mercury type of energy, pulling what lives in your body up into words, decisions, and awareness. Your body has been telling you for weeks, maybe months, through uneasy sleep, sudden heart racing when certain names appear, a strange heaviness before going somewhere you should be happy to go. Monday is when the inner and outer realities try to match. Your spirit, your intuition, your physical reactions, they all step into agreement and say, "We're not denying this anymore." When your ruling planet, Pluto, is activated like this, it doesn't show up as soft pastel healing. It shows up as deep, undeniable truth. That doesn't mean explosions and drama. It means something that can't be unseen once finally seen. You are moving out of the fog and into a sharper field of vision. And once your eyes adjust, you won't ever again doubt what they're showing you. Here's the part that matters most. Monday is not just about them being exposed. It's about you remembering who you are in the presence of truth. You are not called to chase confrontation. You are not required to beg for confessions, apologies, or tears. You are not sent to play judge, jury, and executioner when karma and energy already know what to do. Your assignment in this moment is simpler and far more powerful. Stay in your clarity. Refuse to gaslight yourself again. You've spent years shrinking your intuition to make others comfortable, smoothing your own edges to keep the peace, explaining away your own discomfort so no one would call you too sensitive. Monday is the spiritual boundary line where you quietly decide, never again. You don't need to scream that out loud. You don't need to threaten anyone or issue ultimatums. Your energy will say it for you, the way you stop over-explaining, the way you no longer dismiss the first red flag, the way you choose distance over drama, peace over performance, alignment over access. That is the real reversal. That is the real power shift. You may notice in the days around this Monday that certain people suddenly act strange, overly nice, oddly defensive, more talkative or more silent than usual. They may begin to sense, even before anything happens, that something in you is changing. When a Scorpio shifts on the inside, the field around them changes, and those who have been feeding off your confusion will feel the loss of control. They might reach out more often, trying to check your temperature. They may suddenly share a piece of truth they once hid, hoping to manage the damage. They might switch the narrative and paint themselves as the victim to preempt whatever they fear is about to be seen. Let them. You are not required to correct every lie told about you. Energy corrects itself. Monday tilts the scales in your favor not because you convince anyone, but because life is done cooperating with a false story. The people who are meant to see the truth will feel it, both in what is revealed and in the calm steadiness of your presence. Love and relationships are also woven into this Monday portal. For some of you, the person who hasn't been honest is not a co-worker or casual acquaintance. It's someone who had real access to your heart, a friend you trusted, a partner who enjoyed your loyalty more than they ever honored it, a family member who played both sides. This revelation may sting, because Scorpio does not open lightly. When you let someone close, you let them into the vault, into the sacred interior of you. So when truth hits, the pain is not only about what they did, it's about the version of you that believed in them. Monday is not here to shame that version of you. It's here to honor it. You loved deeply. You believed honestly. You offered grace in a world that often chooses convenience. None of that was wasted. The betrayal is their karma. The growth is your rebirth. You're not being asked to harden and never trust again. You are being invited to trust yourself more than you trust other people's performances. Real love, the kind that doesn't compete with your intuition, that doesn't demand your self-abandonment as proof of loyalty, will never be threatened by your clarity. What falls away when truth rises was never love. It was attachment, access, habit, or need. And you, at this phase of your journey, are outgrowing barely enough. In the material world, work, money, opportunities, this Monday energy looks like a quiet but powerful repositioning. Someone who minimized your skills may suddenly be removed from their seat of influence. A project you were once excluded from may open its doors. An email, a message, an invitation might arrive that confirms what your spirit already knew. You were not kept out because you weren't good enough. You were kept out because someone was afraid of how good you actually are. This is where the universe loves to show its humor. The very rooms where your name was mishandled may become the rooms where your gifts are suddenly needed. The same people who once underestimated you may find themselves saying, "We need Scorpio for this." You get to decide from your new clarity whether you say yes. The point is not to rush back in just because they now recognize your value. The point is that you finally remember you always had value, even when they were blind to it. Monday doesn't create your worth, it simply stops cooperating with the lie that tried to hide it. So what do you do with all of this, Scorpio? You prepare not by bracing for disaster, but by grounding into yourself. Before Monday comes, give yourself a little ritual, even if it's simple. Turn off the noise for a few minutes, hold your hand over your heart, and speak gently to yourself. I choose truth over illusion, I choose peace over performance. I choose my intuition over others' denial. You might journal the patterns you're no longer willing to tolerate, or list the behaviors that are now clear red flags. You might decide, quietly but firmly, that the next time your body says no, you will not force it to say yes. You enter Monday not as a frightened bystander waiting for cosmic fireworks, but as a conscious soul who knows that revelation is a gift, even when it stings, because it sets you free. When the truth appears, in words, in energy, in sudden clarity, you breathe, you notice. You choose your response from self-respect, not from shock. You can walk away gently. You can stay and renegotiate boundaries. You can simply step back and let time reveal who is truly for you. You are not in a hurry. You are in alignment. And Scorpio, as we arrive at this final stretch of the message, there's something important I need to tell you, with the deepest tenderness and honesty. What you've just heard is not a command, not a guaranteed prediction, and not a fixed sentence written in stone. It is a mirror held up to the energy many Scorpio souls are moving through right now, a reflection of one possible timeline that opens when intuition, courage, and truth finally stand together. See this narrative as a sacred story, a spiritual meditation, a thought experiment for your soul rather than a script you must follow. If this message resonates, if it awakens a knowing in your chest, or makes you feel seen in a way you haven't felt in a long time, then keep the parts that feel like home and let them guide you gently. If some parts don't fit your life, you are free to let them drift away like clouds across a changing sky, because not every message is meant for every heart in the same way. This guidance is never meant to replace your own discernment, your practical wisdom, or professional advice where it is needed in your real-world choices. It is here to remind you of a power that has always lived inside you, the power to listen to your intuition, to choose differently, to walk away from what crushes your spirit, to move toward what honors it. So, powerful Scorpio, as Monday approaches, whether it is the next Monday or a symbolic Monday in your life, that turning point where truth knocks on the door, you are not being asked to fear the impact. You are being invited to trust your readiness. You already survived the confusion. You already carried the weight of not knowing. The moment truth walks in, even if it shakes the room, it also opens a window. Let that fresh air in. When the masks fall and they can no longer hide, do not dim your light to make them more comfortable. Stand where you are. Breathe. Feel the ground beneath your feet. And if you feel this message echoing in your spirit, you can anchor it with a simple declaration, spoken out loud or written where the universe can see it. I am not afraid of the truth. I am aligned with it. From that place, no revelation can destroy you. It can only reveal how unbreakable you have been all along.